Patreon in my Shannon Sharp series.
If you know, you know.
When I talked about Shabuzi, that's right, the country singer Shabuzi, we talked about it when it comes to P. Diddy, who all religiously have made this hand sign, which is about the divine feminine, which in a wraparound way goes back to Jezebel and goes back to occultism.
Did you hear what you tell user Jezebel?
Yeah.
Bro, that made me so like that. It was right there.
That Charlie Kirk would make the same post similar to the Illuminati card. These Simpsons in their episodes have not predicted anything.
It's like that. It's like that little girl down the street from my grandma's house.
And they're just laying out
real mama
was mapping out their plans to the world.
Was in a adoption center, but her name is Delilah.
And this is also a message to myself to get in the scripture.
Ain't that like a evil name in the Bible or something?
As you can. Because something is happening in this country, something is happening in this world that is so wicked and demonic, and we never know when our Lord is coming back. But I just pray that you all are prepared, because I plan to be prepared myself. This isn't to scare anybody. If anything, it's to do the opposite. Because once again, I believe that these people are characters playing their role.
They are.
Too many coincidences. I'm Demetrius. I go by Didi. Until next time.
Let me know if I pass that up good. Bro.
What?
Bro, what the fuck is you saying, bro?
Yo, you never did that down smash?
Hell no.
It's like step, here, up, down, come here, give me a five,
You like saving money? Don't answer that. That's a rhetorical question. Who doesn't like saving money?
I know you know this one.
Did you know that Mint Mobile is just $15 a month for premium plans?
I still can't
get that. That's a rhetorical question, but I also don't
For real?
know how
you can't?
That old she was just doing.
Yeah, she was just doing random shit with her hands. I ain't gonna
Whoa.
Go.
Code Geass is one of the most influential shonen mech anime, and while it may not be as complex or philosophical as Evangelion, the comments on war and morality make this story one to be told all the same. I've brought you a series making sense of some of the most confusing anime out there, narrating their story and highlighting the inner motivations of the characters you love. So let me bring the same emotions and storytelling in this recap-esque summary, narrating the story of a forsaken child who dons the cape of a revolutionary all to take down the empire of his father. This is the story of Code Geass. Britannia's rise as a major superpower is wrapped in an alternative history to our own, though with very similar key events. Year 1 of the Ascension Throne Britannia calendar marks the rise of the first king of England, following the reign of Julius Caesar in Rome the years before, whose 2 invasions into England during the Gallic War in 55 and 54 BC made it possible for Alwyn to rise to the seat as king. The tribes of England organizing themselves into one governing body in fear of another foreign invasion. Initially, there was strong resistance from the tribes who despised the Roman Empire and thought
nigga, get the fucking reboots! Oh my god, these niggas is retarded, bro. You just let this nigga get the fucking cars, yo! Oh my god, bro!
After the fall of Rome, kings ruled by the legacy set from Alwyn's time, but the first major alteration of history that leads to great change is the resource known as Sakuradite, a highly explosive, highly desired material with an ability to generate large amounts of power as well as destruction. Marco Polo would sail to Japan and discover their massive natural deposits of this resource, marking the beginning of Japan's seat as the most influential state.
Can you shut the fuck up? It's okay.
If you are not yet a member of the Patreon, the link is in the description. Please consider becoming a member, as you will have access to many videos you can find on YouTube. So the rapper DaBaby is currently trending right now for all the wrong reasons. Once again, because he decided it was a great idea to make a music video in dedication to the Ukrainian refugee that lost her life a few days ago at the hands of a schizophrenic man sitting behind her on the train in Charlotte, North Carolina. Now, in this music video, DaBaby has basically made himself the hero by placing himself on the train while also using some actual footage from the news clip and preventing the man from attacking the girl. Now, he's received a lot of mixed emotions, as some people has praised him, and a lot of other people have seen this as, one, clout chasing, but they've also seen this as being very insensitive, as the girl's family has come out and asked that people do not use the footage for any reason. But is this the real reason why DaBaby decided to make this music video? Is it because he's trying to show dedication?
No, that was probably his sacrifice.
Chasing? Or is there a different reason that he's doing this? Because as we've stated multiple times on this channel over the past few days, I 100% believe that this was a PSYOP, that being the situation that happened in North Carolina. Now, for those of you who are new to the channel, PSYOP is short for psychological operation, which is a CIA term, and it basically means there will be situations that happen in society that is completely manufactured with the sole purpose of pushing an agenda, trying to get a law changed, or trying to get a bill passed. Now, manufactured does not mean that the situation did not necessarily happen, even though that does apply to some situations, but it just simply means that some of these situations are not organic. Because as we can see with this situation here, shortly after this, right after the Charlie Kirk murder, the same Charlie Kirk that shares a birthday with George Floyd, believe it or not, there was actually a bill that was pushed to further fund the Ukrainian war. But let's just stick a pin in there for now, because we'll be coming back to that and the Charlie Kirk situation, as believe it or not, it will be relevant in this video. But in order for us to better understand why it is that DaBaby made this video, let me take you all back to the beginning so that I can refresh your memory on many things that DaBaby has done throughout his career, including many things that are demonic. Welcome back to another episode of Didi Got a Podcast, and of course, I'm your host, Didi. Hit that like button on your way in so that this video can reach more people like yourself. I would really, really appreciate it. Now, without further ado, let's get into the video. DaBaby, whose real name is Jonathan Lindane Kirk, was born on December 22nd, 1991 in Cleveland, Ohio. When he was 6 years old, his family moved south to Charlotte, North Carolina, which is where he would spend the remainder of his childhood. He graduated from Julius L. Chambers High School in 2010, and for a little while, he even went to the University of North Carolina at Greensboro before deciding that college wasn't his path. By 2014, he had found a new purpose in his life, music. At first, he performed under the name Baby Jesus and released his very first mixtape, Nonfiction, in December of that year. Over the next few years, he dropped project after project, mixtapes like God's Work series and the Baby Talk series. He started earning major attention locally in Charlotte with songs like Light Show around 2016, after gaining traction on YouTube and SoundCloud. And in 2018, things really started heating up because he released Baby Talk 5, and then later that year, the mixtape Right, and that project actually caught some serious attention as it eventually led to a short distribution deal with Rock Nation. All of this momentum led up to January of 2019 when DaBaby officially signed a 7-figure record deal with Interscope Records in partnership with South Coast Music Group, which is a label ran by a guy by the name of Arnold Taylor, who's a really big radio promoter in North Carolina. This guy, Arnold Taylor, also has been in the industry for decades, working at Def Jam, Interscope, Epic Records. He's also worked with Timbaland, played a huge role in the rise of Yo Gotti and Future, right? That deal opened the door to everything that came after, right? The breakout singles, the platinum records, the Grammy nominations, and basically DaBaby becoming one of the biggest household names in hip-hop. Now, this is sort of the mainstream story that everybody knows about DaBaby.
Oh my God!
Listen to this story that I just told you. You would just think that hard work, the right connections, and just enough amount of time led to his success in the music industry. But there's a lot of very key and important details that's left out that played a huge role in the success of DaBaby. In 2017, so remember, he's been doing music since 2014. So he had been grinding for like 3 years. Well, in 2017, at this event called South by Southwest, DaBaby decided to show up half naked, wearing nothing but an adult diaper. Now, many people during the time and since that point, I've seen some people call this great marketing. And while I would agree that it is great marketing, this is 100%, this was 100% a humiliation ritual. This wasn't just him trying to market himself so that he can blow up. Because believe it or not, doing stunts like this can only do so much for you on social media. Now, I've called many things over the years humiliation rituals, but this right here has to be at the top of the list because after my interview yesterday with Melissa Blair, who grew up in a household with a family member who was a Prince Hall Freemason, multiple family members that was in fraternities and sororities, and after she detailed to us what the rituals look like both on a national and an underground level, which essentially means underground, it can change depending on the school you go to, depending on the state you're in, and national level, which means above ground, everybody, no matter where you are, have to participate in all those rituals, and some of those rituals sometimes even involve doing it in public on campus in front of other people. And she explained that if you were to halfway do these rituals, or maybe get almost to the finish line and decide that you didn't want to follow through with it, you were not able to reap the benefits of being a part of a fraternity or sorority. Well, it's the same thing with the baby. Because what happened right after the baby did this in 2017, he actually blew up and signed a record deal in 2019, right after signing a distribution deal in 2018. But there's a couple of things that happened in his career as well. In December of 2018, a video was surfaced online of a confrontation that the baby had with some goons in a random neighborhood that he was shooting a music video. Now, a lot of people to this day look at this situation right here as the baby basically standing his ground because these goons are telling him, hey, you have to check in, you have to politic with me before you come and shoot in my neighborhood. The baby is basically telling him, I don't check in with anybody, I do what I want. There's a better way that you could have came and talked to me. And the situation basically went viral. The reason why I'm mentioning this is for a couple of reasons. The record labels, once again, will manufacture situations to help build buzz around different artists. And I am under the belief that this situation is no different. Because after this situation happened, the baby only became more popular as this controversial video went viral all across social media. But something else that really stood out to me about this video is that the baby is not only wearing the number 33, as we know the number 33 is an extremely important number in Freemasonry, but the person that he's talking to is also wearing the number 33. And for those of you who don't know, the number 33 is significant in Freemasonry for a couple of different reasons. One of them being 33 is supposed to represent 1/3 of the angels that were dispelled from heaven that is talked about in the Bible. 33 is also significant because it is also a mockery to Jesus Christ himself, as 33 is believed to be the age of Jesus Christ when he died, which will be relevant later in this video. Now, before anybody want to say no, 33
nigga did not just go back into the storm that
represents Alonzo Mourning, who played for the Charlotte Hornets, which is where the baby is from. That doesn't really do a whole lot for me either because Alonzo Mourning is a Hall of Fame NBA player, and as we talked about many times on this channel, just about every Hall of Fame player that I've been able to make a video on and do research on is either a Freemason and or a fraternity member. Now, in all fairness, I have not been able to find concrete evidence to say Alonzo Mourning was one, although he has held several events in conjunction with Calvin Alpha Psi, whom we know worship the god Apollo. But I digress. As we've already discussed, after his distribution deal in 2018, he was signed a record deal immediately the next month after this controversy went viral in January of 2019. In March of 2019, the baby's father would literally randomly pass away just months before his album would go #1 in October of 2019. This is also the same year that the baby had the breakout single, Should. And don't take my word for it when I say that he randomly passed away. The baby literally said this himself as he rapped about this in the intro to his album, and he also mentioned it on social media a couple of different times. And to my understanding, to this day, we still have no idea the cause of death of his father. But not only that, just a year after this, the baby's brother would actually pass away, and they're saying that he self-harmed himself. But this would not happen before his brother would record a video saying that the baby was actually wrong about something, but we're not exactly sure what he was wrong about. And then 2 years later, in 2021, the baby would actually be canceled for the first time in his career because he decided to go on stage one night at a concert and he went on this rant about homosexuality and how he did not like it. Now, we all know why he was canceled for this because, number one, the society that we're living in, but especially the music industry, homosexuality is embraced, not frowned upon, not shamed upon. Yes, outwardly, but behind the scenes, there's always been speculations about what the industry endorses and what it doesn't. So the baby would eventually be forced to apologize because literally homosexuality is a part of the gender. And then the very next year, right after he would be canceled, interestingly enough, the baby would release a song and a video titled Tough Skin. Well, in this video, the baby would do something that we've seen several artists do before in the past, from Tupac, Kanye, Nas, Absol, the same Absol who created an entire album titled Do Without Will in reverence of the one and only Aleister Crowley, Kendrick Lamar, Remy Ma, Lil Dicky, and the list goes on. We can see the baby pinned to a cross as if he's Jesus, as if he's some sort of sacrifice, the way that Jesus sacrificed himself for our sins. But not only is the baby participating in this blasphemous
I did 2.5k damage. My toga did 84 the whole game.
But you can also see the
84 damage, bro.
Are in all rage, which should remind many of you of Kanye West. You know, another artist that the baby has worked with, especially around the time he was putting out his Donda albums. But it's a reminder of Kanye West, not because Kanye West has also placed himself as Jesus with thorns on his head, not because Kanye West has named himself Jesus after Jesus, which is also blasphemous, but this should remind you of Kanye West because Kanye West can also be seen in all red as well, as red is the color in Freemasonry for sacrifice. But not only that, you see towards the end of the video, they literally set the baby on fire, as fire represents purification and rising like a phoenix. Because right after they quote-unquote purify him with fire, you can see that he's glowing or he's shining like never before, almost like a rebirth ritual. And this should also remind you of Kanye West once again, because we've seen Kanye West himself walking around on fire like he's a phoenix, which is also more Freemasonic, ritualistic behaviors. And well, we also must talk about what